And now at 5, a UPS worker shot and killed after getting off of work. What we're now hearing from those who were near the scene.
The cooler change is here. How long it sticks around, I'll have your forecast for the rest of the week and into the weekend.
And families reunited after nearly a year apart. The emotional moments as hundreds of Hoosier National Guardsmen returned home.
And the Indiana Fever keep losing players to injuries, but they're not giving up on this season. Kelsey Mitchell tells us what makes this team resilient. Live from Indy, you're watching 13 News.
Tonight here in Indianapolis, UPS workers are grieving the sudden loss of a co-worker. That's after someone shot and killed him right as he was getting off of work.
Metro Police are still working to learn if this shooting was random or if someone targeted him. Our Matthew Foltz has been looking into this case all day. And Matthew, you actually spoke with some of the victims' co-workers.
That's right. I spoke to them over social media. And as you can imagine, it really is just taking a big toll and a shock, really, to everyone who worked at this distribution center on the city's north side. Now, I spoke to a worker earlier today who did not want to go on camera. However, they say they parked right where that police officer found that man who was injured. Now, the shooting happened around 10 last night outside of the UPS center near 81st and Allison Avenue. Investigators believe the man had just got off work and was sitting on a bench outside the center when someone walked up and shot him. Detectives say the suspect took off and the man ran to his car where he later collapsed on the ground. That's where police eventually found him. He later died at the hospital. Now, I did reach out to UPS. They sent me a statement saying, quote, "We are deeply saddened by the loss of our employee. We defer to authorities for any additional information as there is an ongoing investigation."
So you said you spoke to a worker. We can only imagine how they might be feeling.
Yeah, they are certainly taking a big toll right now as they kind of process through everything that they went through. You know, I spoke with a woman on Facebook. Again, she did not want to go on camera. However, she tells me that she was near the scene when this shooting happened in her car, that she drove the man's mother to the hospital who wanted to see him after he was transported to the hospital. Of course, he ultimately, unfortunately, passed away at the hospital. And, you know, another woman tells me on social media that she used to pass this man in the hallway and that basically all the co-workers at this distribution center are like a second family. So again, you can just tell how tight-knit they were. And I also was on social media and saw that Teamsters Local 135, they took to Facebook to support the victim. They wrote, quote, "Teamsters Local 135 extends our deepest and sincerest condolences, thoughts, and prayers to our member who was tragically shot last night at the UPS facility on 81st Street. They go on to say, quote, "We stand together as a union, as one union, family in grief, in solidarity, and in support." And again, this evening, we're still working to learn the name of that man who was shot and killed. And of course, as soon as we learn more information from police, we'll pass that along to you.
Okay.
Yeah, it just really makes you wonder if this is random or targeted. I mean, that just really is a scary situation.
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much, Matthew Foltz, for reporting for us tonight. Also tonight, 2 different Indianapolis parents are charged in separate fatal shootings where their kid got a hold of a gun.
So both shootings happened earlier this summer. The first on June 19th happened in the CVS parking lot near 46th and Keystone. Court documents state the mom, Kiera Bickett, had a loaded gun in her purse with her 2 children. At one point, her 2-year-old son, Javarius, got out of his seat and got a hold of the gun. The boy accidentally fired the gun and was shot in the face. He later died in the hospital.
Then the second shooting happened on July 11th. That was at a home on Ralston Avenue. The court documents that in that case, the father, Leonta Anderson, showed up at the hospital with his 2-year-old daughter, Harmony. Police learned that she was shot at home and then died not long after arriving at the ER. A search warrant later found that there were several unsecured guns inside that house. The Marion County prosecutor called the shootings tragic, but completely avoidable.
We certainly want to be sensitive to what the family's going through. We understand that they're already walking around with the greatest punishment that they can ever receive in this case, which is the loss of a child. But at the same time, we have an obligation to the community to prevent future tragedies like this from occurring.
Right now, IMPD tells 13 News they're working to make the arrest of Bickett and Anderson.
At last check, they have yet to be booked into jail.
And tonight, an Anderson man is under arrest, accused of killing a man at the end of last year. 28-year-old Anderson man Dustin Rhodes died in that shooting at the beginning of this past December. Anderson police said the shooting appeared to be the result of a disagreement between multiple people. Detectives did arrest several people at the beginning of their investigation. However, after finding additional evidence, the detectives then went on to Richmond yesterday to make an arrest of the latest suspect. And he now is facing a preliminary charge of murder.
Next month, a Marion County judge will sentence a former corrections officer who worked at the Indiana Women's Prison. A judge found Uzochukwu Chinwizi guilty of rape and sexual misconduct after a one-day bench trial. Court documents state Indiana State Police began investigating him in January of 2024 after an inmate said a former guard raped her. Investigators say they found video evidence as well. Sentencing is scheduled for September 15th.
And developing tonight, one more vote is what stands between a massive data center finally staking ground in Franklin Township. 13 News was one of the first to tell you that Google was behind this development that's on the far southeast side of Indy. Just today, the Metropolitan Development Commission gave the green light, and that sends a proposal to the full city-county council. The vote caused some heated moments at the meeting, people booing and yelling at the commissioners. It's not what they wanted. Now, a final council vote could decide the fate of Google's latest project. Our Alex Almanza has been following this story, and we'll have a full-down breakdown about the meeting ahead right here on 13 News at 6 o'clock.
Let's give you a look over downtown Indianapolis because it has been a much cooler day, if you haven't noticed, which is a big change after all those 90-degree days. So how long is this cooler weather sticking around? Angela's here tracking it. She's going to let us know.
The comfortable weather's going to stick around.
Okay.
We're going to warm it up a few degrees the next couple of afternoons as the sunshine is back, but then even cooler air on the way as we hit the end of the weekend. Woo, we've got lots of cool air to talk about, and that's where we're going to start this evening. The 24-hour temperature change. We are down 14 degrees in Indianapolis from this time yesterday. We're down 11 in Greencastle, down 11 in Columbus and Seymour, down 13 in Bedford. That puts temperatures in the 70s. 75 in the capital city, 78 Bloomington, 77 degrees in Columbus right now. Dew point temperatures also down significantly from this time yesterday. Yesterday we had dew points in the mid 70s, much lower. It's the reason it's much more comfortable out there this evening. Oh, make some outdoor plans. We've got lots of clouds, but not much in the way of rain expected. Thicker clouds could produce a sprinkle, but that's it this evening. Temperatures will stay in the middle and upper 70s over the next several hours, eventually dropping into the 60s. We'll be middle and upper 60s with a mix of sun and clouds in that Thursday forecast. Highs tomorrow in the 80s.
Thanks, Angela. Happening now, a big reunion. Hoosier National Guard families are back together after a nearly year-long deployment to the Middle East.
Oh, look at these hugs. The troops arrived a little more than an hour ago out at Indianapolis International Airport, which is where Emily Longnecker is live tonight. Hey, Emily, wonderful hugs.
Beautiful hugs, ladies. You know, it didn't take long for this place to clear out. Take a look behind me. After almost a year apart from the people they love, these Indiana National Guard troops, they landed, they grabbed their bags, they hugged their families, and they left the airport to go home and start their life here back stateside. We captured some of the beautiful reunion earlier, though. Let's take a look. First, you're going to see Governor Mike Braun getting on the plane to greet the soldiers as they were coming in here to Indianapolis, welcoming them home and thanking them for their service. And of course, there was the anticipation as these families were standing here waiting to see their soldiers and their loved ones deplane. They've been in the Middle East for nearly a year as part of Operation Spartan Shield. For some, it was their first deployment. Many said they were glad to be home and reunited with their families.
It's really great to be home, to see everybody after being gone for so long. It's really awesome seeing all the support that we have out here and coming back.
What did you miss the most?
My family, you know, just feeling comfortable. Just, you know, the smell of rain and the green. It's pretty dry out there.
Looking for my mom, my dad, and my younger brother, Andrew.
What's it been like to be far away, you're in the Middle East for almost a year?
It's a bit again, it's just shocking to be home. It kind of feels like it happened and just like that, I'm back here. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
It's the first thing you're going to do.
Sleep. It's been a long day today, so I'll be sleeping.
Sleep. It sounds like a great idea. A lot of these folks told me that they kept track of each other via FaceTime, and that's how they really communicated, and that really helped them bridge the miles. And, you know, we talked to a lot of families here, a lot of moms who had little ones who were just born when their dads deployed. One woman that we talked to at 4, you heard her, Carly Nolder. She had a 3-week-old son when her husband left to go to the Middle East. So today, now her little son, Griffey Jr., is just turned a year old a few weeks ago, and she was hoping that he would be able to take some of his first steps to dad. Take a listen to what she said about how that went.
He did not get to walk to his dad. He was too tired, but he did get to hug him. So that's what we hope for.
So we'll take the hugs, not exactly those first steps, but look, they have all the time in the world to be together now, for dad to see some of those first steps. And Griffey, I guess, is saying some of his first words now. He's already saying dada. So Carly was talking about just how thrilled she was to have him home and for the family to be reunited. And that's really the story that we heard a lot here. People just glad to see their loved ones back safe and sound. They couldn't wait to just go to dinner and just try and settle back in to life as it is. And Felicia?
Absolutely. The after nap walks are wonderful too.
Yeah. Well, and you know, to be home to see those milestones, you know, I think you'll be able to appreciate it more now as they'll see the difference of the progression to those steps. So all in due time. We're happy they're back and they're safe. Emily, thank you so much. Other news now. Governor Braun is recognizing Indiana Task Force 1 and also the State Department of Energy Management for their work while they were in Texas responding to massive flooding.
The Indiana Department of Homeland Security shared these pictures from the gathering at the governor's residence. They were in the state for more than 20 days last month helping with the search and rescues.